Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the Orchis Yosher, in the new chapter of Leit Sados, which we called Mockery. We discussed yesterday that there's tremendous foolish arrogance in a person who will mock and ridicule someone else. And he continues today quoting Chazal, V'hine b'Gemara Omru. The Gemara says, Talmud Chacham shein dibon b'nachas im abriyos. If a Torah scholar speaks not pleasantly with others, that's considered to be a chila Hashem, a desecration of Hashem's name. The only way that he's going to be forgiven and atoned for such a terrible sin of making a chila Hashem, desecrating Hashem's name, is if he dies. Death itself is going to be the kapara, is going to be the atonement that this person requires. And the Rambam explains the same. He also halachically decides the same exact thing. A Torah scholar did something that was considered to be a chil Hashem, desecrated Hashem's name. Only death will absolve him from that. Now listen what he adds over here. Ubefrat halayeg al chaveroi. And specifically, what kind of speech is not appropriate for a Talmud Chacham? When he is loyeg, when he ridicules and he scoffs and he mocks his friend. Like it says in the Gemara, on every sin that a person does throughout the year, Yom Kippur itself is going to be a kapara, it's going to be a day that will grant atonement. Except when it comes to ridiculing one's friend. If you come to ridicule and to make fun of and to scoff and mock one of your friends, that itself is not going to be forgiven so easily. And that's what Chaim Kanievsky is saying over here. That if a Talmud Chacham, who really should be using his words for the right things, his mouth should be filled with wisdom and divrei Torah, the words of Torah, of chesed, of compassion, of all the emulating the ways of Hashem, if that person ends up lowering his speech to a state of leitzanos, of mockery, so that itself is the biggest chil Hashem, the biggest desecration of Hashem's name that a Talmud Chacham could commit in this world. V'leitzanos ba'atzmai, afilu aloi davar avera gedola ma'od. And he writes, mockery itself, even on trivial matters, things that are not, you're not making fun of mitzvahs, you're not making fun of rabbanim, you're not making fun of all these things, even that, it's a very grave sin. Don't get into the habit of mocking, of ridiculing, because once that you do, even in cases where it's not such a terrible thing, it will carry into much larger scenarios. Like this says in the Midrash, and it says further, Nichnas lalev davar shaleitzanais, when a davar shaleitzanais, when something of mockery enters into your heart, yotze kenegdai davar shel Torah, you should know it pushes out the Torah that is in your heart. The more mockery, the more leitzanos, the more scoffing that you have at a person, every time even the thoughts to mock somebody comes into your head, it pushes away the Torah that is in there and that you have learned. But when it says, Kat leitzim ein mekablim b'nei shechina, the category of leitzim, of these scoffers, they are going to be one of the groups of people that when Mashiach will come, they will not be zeicha, they will not merit to be makabel, to receive the face of the Shekhinah. Well, why not? What is so terrible about scoffing? So terrible about a little bit of mockery. It's not like you're doing averas, you're not doing sins, you're not eating treif, you're not keeping Shabbos and turning on a light. You just over here, you have a little bit of late sonus nature inside of you. But if a person has that, the Gemara says that what? It's ein mekabel Shechina, they will not be able to receive the face of the Shechina, and when in the appropriate time when Mashiach will come. Leitzanos hurts a person in this world, and it could even hurt them in the world to come as well. Well, let us, as Hashem, as we're going through this chapter together, let's understand and let's learn why we should stop with the mockery, why we have to stop being so sarcastic with our wives, why a wife has to stop ridiculing her husband and putting him down for the things that he does. Once that a person begins to realize how detrimental it is to our spiritual health, then we'll be able to begin to remove this midah ra, this terrible trait of leitzanus, of scoffing and ridiculing and putting and mocking somebody else. And be'ez Hashem, and that's zechus, we all will be zeichet to be makabel the Pnei Shechina with the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu v'imheira v'yameinu. All the best.